Going live. Hello, everyone. I think we're live on Facebook. Hi. Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Oh my gosh. So we have these incredible people with us today. And as you know, many of these amazing people have been reaching out to you saying, hey, you've got to get to this Unleash Your Rising Breakthrough event. And we wanted to come on and talk about the event, the upcoming event. So we've got Jenny here. I don't know if it's in the same order. We have Jenny, we have Patricia, Chip, and Quay, which is a beautiful, lovely couple. And Lisa Diaz. These are some of our leaders from, they participated and they were in previous Unleash Your Rising events, and now they're helping co-lead our event. So we wanted to come on and just say hello to everybody and chat a little bit about the event. It looks like we're live. It looks like we have some people on. We're on StreamYard here. So if you want to comment, go to the top of the page. And there'll be a link there so that we can see your name on Facebook. So just click on there, and that way we can see your name. And let me just go on here real quick on Facebook and make sure that, because I can't see the comments here, but I can probably see it. Okay. Yay, there we are. Okay, yes, and I'm on my personal page. All right, awesome. So yeah, we were just chatting about the event, and I just wanted to introduce, if you don't already know, our amazing leaders. And, when I was coming on to this call, I thought of our very first breakthrough event, which Jenny and Quay were at our very first breakthrough event, and Patricia and Lisa were in our last one. So this is our third one. But it took me back to when we did that first one. It was literally 2 weeks before the world shut down. And there was just a handful of people who said yes. And we were in this Airbnb. We had this amazing experience together. And I just wanted to maybe ask Jenny and Quay, like, what that was for you. Like, it was such a crazy time because I had actually had a vision board party scheduled, a venue booked and paid for, tickets to a vision board party, like paid tickets. And I kept hearing this message, right? No, you're not doing a vision board party. You're doing a breakthrough event. Your first breakthrough event. This was, 3 years ago. And I was like, well, I have a venue. People paid tickets. Nope, cancel it. So within a few short weeks, I literally canceled this vision board party and put on this breakthrough event. And then beautiful Jenny came, and Quay, and a handful of other people. And it was our first one. So Jenny and Quay, maybe you can talk a little bit about that and just share, maybe your experience at the event, getting to the event, making that decision, because there's a lot of people deciding like, oh, should we go? So what was that for you back then?
Yeah, for me, I didn't even know what the event really was about. And I just knew that God was calling me to go. It was difficult. I had to take 3 different flights to get to San Diego, 3 flights back. Didn't know anyone, had never met anyone in person. We just really went out on that trust of like, that there's a reason I need to be here. Met, some beautiful, beautiful friends that you guys are obviously friends for life. And that was just amazing. But the breakthrough that I experienced, not only like my own breakthrough, but experiencing other people's breakthrough that had an impact on my life. One of the biggest ones was for abundance. And I wasn't there to break through any kind of money, financial breakthrough, but really had that abundance breakthrough, which completely changed my life and the life with my husband and our family and our kids. So really that was just huge for me and my family.
Yes, I remember that for you, Jenny. It seems like it's so long ago. There's so much that has happened since the 4-day event, our first 4-day event. But I remember you had put intention on leaving your job, like you were working for corporate and like the healthcare industry, and you were like, I feel like this is it for me. I want to become a coach. I want to speak. I want to get my book out. And it's just crazy, like all of your breakthrough that happened at the event, like puts you into this momentum for that to actually happen, because we were able to really access the vision of that and break through any conscious or unconscious barriers preventing you from this vision that was obviously pulling you so you can help people and help women choose healthy relationships. Like that's the whole platform of what Jenny is creating, and even realizing now to even work with young men. And it's just like, whoa, like all of that originated with us first connecting and you saying yes to your book. And then, oh my gosh, you're like taking all these flights to get out of rural Minnesota to get to San Diego. And it just like created this momentum because you said yes and you were just all in. And it was so amazing to meet you in person. And now this is your second Unleash Your Rising event that you're co-leading, because you see the power of it. And it makes us stronger too, because we're leaning into new breakthroughs as leaders so that we can be stronger vessels for their breakthroughs. And it's like this like beautiful flow that happens. It's just incredible. So I can't wait for this event. It's just gonna be so amazing, life-changing. We have people flying from all over the country. Do you know we have more people flying from other parts of the country than who are actually here in San Diego? So that tells me I need to start doing more in San Diego. We have kind of a global following and have people coming in. But I'm so excited. It was just incredible, Jenny. So what was that for you, Quay? You are local to San Diego, and you're like, yes, I'm going. And you were already working with me on the book.
But I was so afraid to come because I didn't know what it was going to be like. There was a little bit of mystery. All I knew is that I wanted what you carried. I remember reading your book and just realizing, okay, there is something here that I need. And I feel like the breakthrough event for me was your book coming to life for me. I read your book and I was able to get that level, that first level of understanding from the words. But I learned from experiences, the experiential knowledge, experiential activations. And that's what the breakthrough event was for me. So I think I was a little afraid, and I don't know how Sandy came. Maybe I invited her because I was so afraid I wanted a friend. I don't know. But I came in timid, and then I was just surrounded by so much love, so much love in that room that I felt so free to be me, to be authentically. I was accepted. I could say anything, do anything, and there was no judgment. And I just really came alive through the activities that we did. I wanted to finish my book, and I knew there was another level of breakthrough for me. I was still struggling with some emotion, some shame, and some anger, and there were still stories in my life of trauma that I would still was working through. And through the breakthrough event, I was able to look at those stories and then find a higher perspective on them and just hear from God what what my identity was, what he was telling me about my story. I heard his voice on, and that just really catapulted me into being able to finish the book and write it in third story and write it in a way that I felt I just could release love and release forgiveness. And so my breakthrough was that state of being, to be able to go from first story, second story, and have moments of third story of compassion, forgiveness for people that had wounded me. And that was life-changing for me, absolutely huge, to learn those breakthrough tools, to learn those ways of just identifying triggers and then knowing how to release them. And so I was able to just bring that home with me and write and finish and release this book and be proud of it. And it was just what I needed at the time. And so I just thank you so much for how you just opened the door for that for everyone.
Yeah, and still to this day, Quay, that is one of my like favorite moments of my life, because you like totally shifted, and it's like you were really like struggling with that part of your story, and then something like totally shifted with you, and you just like this light just came off of you, and like we felt it in the room, and you were like, and you just like lit up, and like you were like, you just went into this gratitude and this joy over this part of your story, because you were able to see it from the highest perspective possible, which is through God's eyes. And it was so powerful for everyone there. And it's still one of my favorite moments of that event. Just incredible, because I can think about that and embody that joy and gratitude that you experienced. It's like I almost like anchored that too. It was so incredible. It was such a beautiful moment. And I know from here on out, you've been able to become a breakthrough coach, and you've already had your power hour, and you were doing all of this amazing work with women, but now you're able to like help them get to that higher perspective of their stories too, because you just like you then applied that and went and wrote your book, and boom, you just like took off. And it's so exciting to see. And now you and Chip are doing retreats for married couples, and really embodying these amazing tools, and bringing in the Holy Spirit, and just that partnership, but also having the understanding of the neuro-linguistic programming and the questions, and how to really like bring people into that state of awareness in their mind, which sometimes can be very difficult for people. And it takes practice, it takes training. So those are some things that we do at the event that you guys just have embodied, and it's very exciting. And we get to daily practice that all the time, because our minds are not really set up to be that way naturally. It's like, it's a practice. It's a daily practice. But as you can retrain and reprogram these parts of your mind and release the emotional disempowerment attached to these stories, there is a freedom, and there's a joy, and there's a gratitude with that. It's instantaneous. It's like this powerful shift. And that happened for you. And it was just so, so incredible. So I'm so excited for you to lead. And you have your amazing champion husband, Chip. We're so excited Chip's leading. So Chip, you were at the last event as an attendee, and now you're going to be leading with Quay and with all of us. So share with us a little bit about what your experience was, what maybe that one big shift was for you, or breakthrough, or just being there. What was that experience for you, and what has shifted for you since then?
Okay, I didn't hear all that because you were cutting out a little bit, but so I'll just kind of take you back to Quay coming back from her first one. She was kind of on cloud nine and just walking on air, and like just transformed, just so full of just love and peace and joy, and just loved everybody, and just really, just on a high for days, if not weeks, after that event. So I got invited in. We kind of worked on this book. It took 2 years to birth, when we thought it was going to take a year. So we were working on it, and what came out of it was breakthrough for year 2 working on it, because I was joining in with a lot of editing and helping, and so it was really helpful. I really enjoyed being there to see others get their breakthrough, and even help and facilitate some of that, even though I wasn't a leader. But it just sort of happened organically. And that was really, I guess, what I took away, my big takeaway was that everybody's got kind of this message or to the world inside of them. And it's something that they need to get out. But there's a lot of times there's obstacles that stand in their way. And this group was so supportive. And even though we didn't know everybody coming in, by the end of the time, you just love everybody in the room. It's like a little slice of heaven. It's very accepting, very loving, very supportive. Everyone is for you, and will help you get through whatever roadblocks that you encounter. So one of the things I did find out was that a lot of times things that happened to us in our past are really the things that happened for us, because they become part of our message, and they become part of our purpose to kind of right that wrong, to heal, to help others that maybe have gone through the same situation, to help them heal, because everybody's kind of gone through something. They have worked through it, and have many of them are authors, and have written books and about how to help get through that situation. So that was kind of my big takeaway, was that what really was there the enemy came in to harm us with, it actually became, a source of strength and power to help others.
So true. I love that. That is so true. And I feel like it's almost like I was shown not too long ago that there has been this suppression around everyone's stories. And that suppression can be generational. It can be something you're carrying you're not aware of, or it can be a conscious suppression of your story. But when you're able to use these powerful tools and partner with spirit in that, and partner with God and shifting the perception of story, and being able to have the tools to remove these false lies and beliefs and things that you've taken on, or that maybe were put on you, things that you may not even be aware of, that you become set free from that, and you're able to see your story in a different way. And that way, it's typically like the stories that people are most afraid to share, or the ones that they haven't gotten over yet. Like it's that one thing that they couldn't let go. Like that story is the one that your readers really need to hear, is the one that the people in the audience really need to hear, because they're likely carrying that too. So when you're able to heal that and release that, that's where it's like, if you create change within yourself, that's when you can go out and change the world one person at a time, because you have worked through that disempowerment in your own story. And it's like that suppression is removed. I received a vision of like these stakes are removed out of like this suppression, like we're like stakes that are removed. And now there's like this empowerment around stories rather than the disempowerment. And this is where fear is removed. This is where self-doubt is removed. This is where unworthiness and shame is totally removed around your stories. So then you can say, wow, like this happened for me, as Chip says, because there's a purpose in this. Like if these things didn't happen, I wouldn't be out doing this. I wouldn't be helping people going through what they're going through. And so we're all being called to unleash from the disempowerment of those stories and rise into that higher understanding, what we call third story reverence and unleash your rising, where you're attaching yourself to compassion. You're able to reach those higher levels of forgiveness and open your heart to the possibility that there was a reason and a purpose for that. And from there, you can love yourself more. You can have a stronger spiritual connection. There's so much that can happen for you. You become that magnet for that, whatever new career, everything that you're looking to attract. I mean, I remember Shelley did all of her breakthrough, and now she's with the love of her life. It's like the craziest things happen when you release that. And often it's not conscious at all. It's not even a conscious thing. It's like you're carrying around this invisible baggage and it's weighing you down, but you're not even aware of it. So I love how Chip mentioned that, because that's so true. I mean, one of my mentors is like, hey, the story that you're afraid to share is exactly what your readers or your audience needs to hear. And so that is like something that shows you that, hey, there's something ready to be released here. And then once that is unleashed, that's where the rising occurs. That's what we call this: unleash your rising, right? So it's just so powerful. So what was that for you, Lisa? Lisa and Patricia both, they attended our last breakthrough event, June 2021, right when we were coming off of all the mandates and things were opening up a little bit. And we're like, all right, we're doing this. We're doing this. People flew out in from all over the country. Lisa, you came in from Florida. Patricia, you're local. I was there for Lisa's, like one of her like surprise breakthroughs. I was like, woo, we weren't expecting that. It was like, whoo. So what was that for you, Lisa, as far as like your biggest breakthrough? And like here you are leading now, and it's so exciting. You're such a boss lady as a coach and an author. She just released her book. She reached bestseller on Amazon. She's like doing all the things. So what was that for you, Lisa, as far as your like that monumental breakthrough for you?
Yes, it was a lot. I'm just still grateful. I'm so happy. I can't explain how happy I am, but I'm so grateful because, like I say, I thought I was trying everything I can, right? In my mind, I was doing everything I can in my ways. And I'm just so grateful that I'm here, because not only that I was able to break through fear, like a lot of fear and traumas that I've gone through, my parents, you know, so much to look back and say, I am so grateful now that I have a better understanding. And if it wasn't for having or being at that event, I don't even think I would have had a clear understanding. So now I can help others and still learn about myself, right? And my family. I'm just so grateful. I was able to get baptized with you, you know, and with Tiffany at the breakthrough. That's not something that I planned. So I'm grateful for that too. Just so much happened, and launching my book. I don't know what else to say. I'm just so grateful for everything, for meeting each and every one of you. And I'm also grateful for Patricia in my life too, each and every one of you. But God knows what he does, and he just does it perfect. It was no plan on how everything would end up, everything would be. So I want to thank you all, but I'm just so happy. I'm so happy. I'm grateful. I'm at peace. Yeah, everything.
Your joy is just like, it's just, I mean, it's so inspiring. And yeah, I mean, like, it's crazy. Like, we ended up, like, it was after the event, ended up having baptisms after the event. It was like insane, like totally not planned. It's just like, wow. And I mean, what for me, I think was one of my favorite moments. It was the most like surprising and exciting moment was that fear breakthrough. We all carry fear, right? I mean, you're writing a book, you're doing all these things, or you're feeling nudged to write a book, and fear is going to come up, right? Fear is there to keep us safe, and it's there. I mean, it's like this, you know, caveman part of our brain. That's where fear resides, the amygdala. And that can just, like, people can just live in that. And there's a spirit of fear evading the planet right now and keeping people from doing a lot of things that they could be doing. But, you know, when you are looking to like do something different in your life and you realize you want to change, you want to be a better parent or a better husband or wife, or write a book or start that business or leave your job, the fear will come up, and it can come up really hard on you. Like, you have to have tools to be able to release that. And for you, it's like, ever since that, really, like, every time I see you, you're just like, I'm just so grateful.
Yeah.
I'm just so grateful. Like, that's part of the third story reverence, like accessing the gratitude for those parts of your story. It almost seems impossible. And most people are like, well, how could you forgive that? How could you have gratitude for that? Like, it's really miraculous how it happens. But when it does, there's like this, it's like, then you can go out and affect people in a really powerful way, just by being who you are, just like being in that state of gratitude and love, and embodying that, just walking around and going and get coffee or walking down the street. You can change someone's life with the joy and gratitude that you have within you. It's magnetic, it's beautiful, and we need more of that, right? We so need this in the world. I just love that. You know, every time you come on these calls and I see you, just like, I'm just so grateful. It's just so amazing. We love you, Lisa. We're so excited. She has her book From Doubting to Believing. Like, the perfect book title came out of that event too. It's like, I was doubting myself and now I'm just like believing, and she just launched her book. And you're helping set other people free from their fear. It's incredible. I just love it so much. So we love you, Lisa. It's going to be amazing to lead with you, boss lady. So amazing.
Excited.
Oh, and we have Patricia. Patricia's here in San Diego. She's leading, and she was at the breakthrough event in June with Lisa, and now they're workout buddies. And it's like, wow, like, the friendships and connections you create is so powerful. Lifelong soul sisters, lifelong soul brothers. Got to include Chip. I don't know where he went, but so Patricia, what was that for you as far as
well,
breakthrough?
this breakthrough event, for me was really just in the middle of a redo, a pivot, re-navigation for me. I was coming out of the pandemic like the rest of us all, but I actually was hospitalized and almost died. And in that space, I developed a lot of fear and a lot of anger being in the hospital and not knowing if I was going to live, because that's what I was told. And just really leaned into my relationship with God. But during that time, I had known you, Christine, for 6 years, and watching you with your book and watching you become a coach and watching you shift. And I thought, you know what? I need to renavigate my career. I need to renavigate who I want to show up as in this world. I knew that God had his hands on me, but I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure what to do. So I went to this event, and honestly, it gave me the tools to not only break through like my emotional blocks, but I discovered a vision for me and where I was headed. And I really felt like a clearing of just a new awareness that allowed me to not only, gosh, not only am I an author, I'm now a coach. I'm
Yes.
now a leader at this event, and I plan on doing public speaking, and I'm going to start a podcast, and I'm being the person I am, leaning into my purpose that God has for me. And I really don't think I could have found that without this event, without going to this event and breaking through these blocks and these emotional areas that I didn't even know were blocks for me. And I feel unstuck and I feel unstoppable. And it's changed the trajectory of my whole life. So I am so excited to be a part of this. And if anybody's on the fence, come be a part of this. Change your life. Walk in your light. Walk into your purpose. It's worth it.
So good.
So
Everything
worth it.
that she said. Yes. Oh my gosh. That is so amazing. And I mean, Patricia's local. Our girls are friends, and we had lunch the other day, and she's sharing with me her vision and everything she's going to be doing. And it's just so exciting. I mean, it's like you were unleashed from this, whatever was holding you back. And now like,
anger and
rising.
fear. Absolutely. Yeah. It's gone. It's gone. I walk with forgiveness and love now. Thank you.
And you were already a loving person, and it's like, wow, like you're just, but now you have this vision, and now it's like you had that beingness already about just the way you were, but I see that like even magnified, like so much more now. And now you have this new vision for what you're going to bring forth into the world, and to be a healer of people's minds and souls and bodies and hearts. And it's like, when you have that like shifted perspective, and then you're able to then see the vision, because when you're carrying this over here, it's like you got all this, remember, the invisible baggage, and it's like you can't even see the vision. And so it's like you were released, and it's like, oh, now I can see my purpose. I can walk in that.
It's everything, Christine. It's everything. Really. Thank you. Thank you for being a vessel for that. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for walking in your purpose. Yes.
Oh, thank you. Well, we can't do this without one another. And I feel that what we've created in our community is this collaboration of people who want to create change within themselves so that they can go out and create change in the world. It's so powerful, so lovely, and so wonderful to see. I think we lost Chip. I don't know where he went, but by the way, if guys are listening, we do have guys coming to the event too. It's very exciting. And we've got Chip leading. Lorraine's leading too. She couldn't come on today. Maybe we'll go on tomorrow. But yeah, anyone who's thinking about it, go to, I didn't put when I hop off here, I'll put the link in the comments. It's uyrevent.com, uyrevent.com. Some of our authors have a free ticket. And then those of you who are in our Unleash Your Rising community and you've been floating around for a while, some of you have been following me for a long, long time. We actually reduced the ticket to half price. It's an early bird special that expires Friday at midnight. So it's a great opportunity to jump in. And, if you have questions, text me, message me. I'm just so excited. And, you know, this will equip you with tools too, because it's never easy. It's never perfect when you're out there in your purpose too. I mean, you may have seen that I have someone stealing my identity on Instagram right now. And it's like, I could easily go and like feel sorry for myself for weeks and be angry and just allow myself to be in the mess of that. And rather, I'm going to just keep showing up and serving and loving people and putting out the fires. But I can do that in peace, and I can recognize the anger that may be coming up, and like, okay, let me switch that, let me release that, and be able to just align and stay focused on my vision. Because some people can just be taken down like that. They can be taken down for weeks or months or years when when something devastating happens. So it's never perfect. It's never easy walking in your purpose, but I'm excited to share these powerful tools and co-lead with all of you amazing people. It's going to be so amazing. It's going to be in San Diego, March 17th through 20th, and it's coming up here in a few short weeks. People who are flying in from all over, they're staying at the Dana Hotel across the street from the Marina Village Conference Center, and we've got a beautiful experience mapped out. It's going to be incredible. So, thank you guys for being here today. I wanted to hop in and just acknowledge all of you too. I'm just so excited to lead with you. You all are powerhouse leaders, and it's going to be such an incredible experience. I'm counting the days. It's going to be so incredible. So any last words before we jump off?
Just thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. Appreciate everyone. You know, excited. I just want to say thank you. Thank you, Christine, Jenny, Quaich, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
We love you.
Love you.
Thank you, everybody. Well, we'll see
Yes.
you March 17th, San Diego. Get on the airplanes, get here, connect with us.
Yes,
and we'll see you
connection.
there. Yes, so excited for everyone
connection.
coming. So excited, so excited. All right, well, love you all, and we will see you again. We'll hop on again before the event. Have a great night. Thanks for being here, you guys.
You're welcome.
All right.
Good night.
Bye.